The Markup tools and Whiteboarding both offer the same tools. To turn on Markup tools for your slides, you select the Markup Tools button in the upper left corner. These are the same tools and utilities that you will see available to you when you go to the whiteboard. The difference between the Markup tools here and the whiteboard is that the Markup tools here will allow you to mark up on the PowerPoint slides that you're working on, and if I go to the whiteboard, it's a blank slate. Navigating back from the whiteboard can be done the same way that you used to navigate around the session. You can use the forward and back arrows, but this will not go directly back to the slide that you were just on. Instead, it will go to the next slide or the previous slide from the one you were just on. The other way you can do it is by using the drop down up here. You can click on the little green bar. That shows you exactly where you were. Or you can click on this drop down here and find the name of the slide that you were just working on. The markup tools that we see we're going to be using on the slides themselves, but again, there's no difference between the tools here and the tools in the whiteboard. The difference is whether you're working on a slide or whether you're working on a blank slate. The active tool is going to be a greenish color, whereas the others will be a white or a gray, depending on what your screen looks like. So this shows us right now that our selection tool is currently the active tool. The next option is going to be the laser pointer. And you can see when I mouse over the laser pointer, I have a choice between the laser pointer or the named arrow. The laser pointer will move when I click in a new location. If I choose the named arrow instead, you'll see an arrow with your name right next to it, and you'll see that this will also move as you click around the screen. The next option is going to be the star, check mark, X mark, or smiley. So here I've selected the star, and the difference between a star and a laser pointer is that the star stays where you leave it. Same thing with your check marks, as well as your X marks, and you can see that the icon here is changing to reflect which tool I've selected, and your smileys. Next is the highlighting tool. The highlighting tool has several features that are very nice. You can do a freeform highlighter, which will just be however your mouse goes, that's how it highlights. And that's a click to drag. Next is your box highlighter. This is going to be a click to drag, but it will make a nice box shape for you. And then your circular highlighter will do a circle. You can also change the weight of your highlight. This only affects the freeform highlighter, so I can go much lighter, do a smaller highlight, or I can go much bigger and do the heaviest highlight possible. You can also change colors, so I can choose the green, the pink, the blue, or I can leave it at the default of yellow. And you'll notice again that if I choose the box highlighter, the icon changes to show that I'm using the box highlighter or the circular highlighter instead of the freeform. The next tool is going to be your pencil. So here I've selected the pencil. It's now my active tool, and you'll see the color has changed from a white or gray to a green. The other options is the line weight. This will determine how thick my line is when I do my drawings. So that's the heaviest, and then the lightest. I can also change the color of my line as well, and that's done by going into pencil color and selecting a different color. And I'm going to make my line a little bit thicker so we can see it here, but there's my next line. Now look down here at your shapes. We've got the filled box, filled circle, box, and circle, and the ability to change the fill color. But there's no way to change the outside line from here. Instead, if you notice up here, the pencil color and the very top box here will indicate what the line color will be. So whatever your pencil color is, that's the same color that your line for your filled box or filled circle will be. And that's what we see here. So if I wish to change that line color and have it be black or some other variation, then I would have to first change the pencil color, and you'll see the line color change reflected here. So I can do a filled box, a filled circle, an unfilled box, or an unfilled circle. If I want to change the fill color, then I go in here and select a different color. And this will only affect your filled box and filled circle because the others do not have a fill. But that's how you change all of the different settings for your shapes. Next is our text box. I have selected the text box. You can see that the T is now green. And to use the text box, you're going to click anywhere on the screen and type something. If I wish to change the font type, change whether it's plain, bold, or italic, change the size, make it larger or smaller. I can also add in strikeout or underline, or both. I can do so, and that will apply to all new text boxes that I'm creating. I can go back and change the previous text box as well. In order to do that, I must select the selection tool, then select the text box, and then I can go in using the font drop-down and change the size, change the text, and change other features about it as well. The other thing that will affect the text box is the color of the font. The color of the font cannot be set with the text tool. Instead, it will take the same settings as the pencil color. So if I go in and change the pencil color to be a different color, you'll see the text change to reflect that line color as well. The last tool that we have is going to be our line or arrow. And the line or arrow will take the same color settings as the pencil. So if you wish to have a different color for your lines or arrows, you'll need to adjust the pencil color settings. Next is the ability to save the whiteboard to the agenda. If you choose to do this, you will see a new tab show up here if there's not one already, that is simply titled Agenda. When I click on the agenda, this will show me the whiteboard or the marked up page that I have just saved. If I go in and delete things out of this page, it will not be reflected in the saved screen capture in the agenda. Students should be encouraged to take their own screen captures, not to use the Save utility, as there is no way to grab it from the agenda at the end. This button here will actually clear the entire screen. I'm not going to select that one just yet, as I would like to first show you how to delete selected shapes. So in order to delete selected shapes, I have to choose my selection tool. I'm going to individually select the item that I want, and you can see that the trash icon has now been highlighted. So I can click and delete one by one. I can also drag to multiple select things in a close area. And if I'd like to individually delete things, multiple items, I can hold down the Shift key to do a multiple select, and then delete the items. So your options were individual select and delete, drag and drop to select and delete, which may be a little bit tricky if the things are not right next to each other, or you can hold down your Shift key to multiple select, and then delete. And then this button here will clear everything at once, but it will ask you first to verify that you really do want to clear everything. That way you don't accidentally click on it. Now, again, even though I've cleared up this entire whiteboard, when I go back and look at my agenda item, this is what it looked like when I saved it.